The never-ending Pareto Distribution death match. Pareto was an economist that lived a couple hundred years ago. He, of course, came up with the famous Pareto Distribution, the rule that says basically 20% of any system will do 80% of the work in that system. This has nothing to do with humans or how the mind operates or how we see the world. This has nothing to do with fairness or unfairness or whether anybody is cheating. This is a function of statistics and the nature of reality. It's not always 80-20. We can generalize by saying a small percentage of any system will do most of the work in that system. For example, you can look out into the entire universe. Most of it is space. We can say that a minority of space contains the majority of stuff. Or 20% of the space in the universe contains 80% of the stuff. 20% of NBA players will score 80% of the points. 20% of authors will sell 80% of the books. This shifts from being a simple statistical distribution to a death match when there is some kind of pass-fail criteria or an accept-reject criteria. For example, Harvard University spends millions of dollars on marketing each year. Why? So they'll have a huge pool of applicants. At this point, we need to introduce the idea that the Pareto distribution doesn't stop at 80-20. The top 20% of the top 20% does 80% of 80% of the work, or the top 4% does 64% of the work. Or 20% of 20% of 20% does 80% of 80% of 80% of the work. Or 0.8% does 51% of the work. Anyhow, back to Harvard. The more Harvard spends on marketing, the more elite that top 0.8% becomes. 0.8% of 100 people isn't that special, but the top 0.8% of kids out of 1 million kids is some very, very special kids. Evolution works the same way. Most species who have ever existed are extinct. If you've got a certain environment that can support any kind of life form, of all the life forms that are competing to survive in that environment, only the top few percent will survive. Of all the baseball players in the minor leagues, only a small percentage will ever make it to the major leagues. Even within species, this plays out, particularly in mammals, which are hierarchical. The top status males have most of the sex. Lower status males, not so much. This is even obviously true in online dating. The top few percent of people get most of the attraction from everybody else. This even plays out metaphorically or spiritually, whatever your frame of reference is. Many religions have the idea of an afterlife, but those religions also have some kind of a Pareto distribution built in. Even Jesus said that of all the people there are, many are called, but few are chosen. Just like Harvard University, many are called, many are marketed to, but few are chosen to actually enter the school. Hundreds of people will apply for a job, but only a small percentage will be shortlisted and get an interview. No matter where you look, you'll find Pareto distributions. While it's nice to believe that life is fair and everybody gets a fair shake, consider that the Pareto distribution is the fair shake. And whoever or whatever created our reality built it with the Pareto distribution baked into it. A never-ending filter that attracts many people but only chooses a select few. Luckily, in the modern world, we aren't nearly as constrained as we used to be. There are many, many different arenas in which to compete, many, many different jobs to apply for, many, many sectors of the economy in which to make a living, many different people to try and date, many different places to find your niche and survive. The takeaway is to never give up. To find your special place or person or collection of people where you are the 20% that does 80% of the work and gets 80% of the rewards out of that system. You're already in the game just by being here. Keep grinding forward and never give up. To learn more about personal development so that you can dominate, please visit mindpersuasion.com. Check out the links below. And because we make videos almost every day, please subscribe so that you can continue to learn more. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching.